6 games, each ending in the defeat of a main villain. First, we defeated Geese in a bout of revenge for our father. Then, we were challenged by Krauser and took him on in an epic battle. Next came Yamazaki and the Jim brothers' quest for immortality. And then, the destined rematch between Terry and Geese. After that, nothing. Just a time of peace, with all our favorite fighters getting a chance to just enjoy life. That is, until a new King of Fighters is held 10 years later. Welcome back to my Fatal Fury journey, and what will be our last episode chronicling the story of the Fatal Fury series. So, before we hop into the game, let's take a moment to talk about the development of Garou, and why it's so different from Fatal Fury. Releasing in 1999, only 1 year after Real Bout 2, Garou was meant to be SNK's answer to the newest Street Fighter title at the time, Street Fighter 3. At the time, Third Strike had just been released in arcades, showcasing the next generation of Street Fighter, with old and new faces alike. So, following this trend of new fighters, Garou is set in the distant future of 2008, with an entirely new cast, with the only returning face being our main boy Terry Bogard. However, this time around he's playing a bit more of a supporting role, as the series' protagonist this time is being passed down to Rock Howard, who is making his debut as a playable character in the game. Rock has been a key part of Terry's story ever since Fatal Fury 3, and it honestly feels like they were always building up to make him into a playable character. But actually having played through these games and seeing their bond slowly grow over time makes the payoff so much better, as we now finally get to see them fight against each other. The gameplay of Garou is also completely different from previous games. The lane system is completely gone, and now we're back to being a good old 4-button fighter, just like in 2 and 3. Garou's new unique addition, however, is the TOP system, working as a bit of a comeback mechanic, making you stronger, giving you a small health regen, and giving you access to powerful TOP attacks. And the part that turns TOP from just a normal comeback mechanic into something a little more strategic is that you get to choose where it activates, whether it be in the beginning, middle, or end of your health bar. This makes Garou possibly the most fluid and fun Fatal Fury game yet, though a small part of me does miss the old lane system. Now, with that out of the way, let's finally get a taste of what the Wolves have been up to in this newest game.
Certainly, they existed. Those blinded by ambition. Those consumed with vengeance. But here, they do not exist. Only winners and losers here. For here, the mighty.
We start off with this really amazing opening, showing us the ending of Real Bout and giving us a small glimpse back into Terry and Rock's lives before we cut to the new boy himself. Rock is the child of Geese Howard and Marie Hainlane. After Geese abandoned them, Rock was left with his mother, who was deathly ill, and she eventually passed, leaving Rock an orphan. That is until he's taken in by Terry Bogard, as we saw from the ending of Fatal Fury 3. Rock is a very shy character by nature, being designed to be almost an opposite of Terry. While Terry's appearance is very masculine and buff, Rock's design takes quite a different approach, making him more slim. He grew up spending time with Terry, learning how to fight and train, and he's also childhood friends with Kim Kafwan's 2 sons. Due to being the son of Geese, Rock has Geese's evil blood inside of him. He fights hard every day to make sure it doesn't overcome him, giving him a bit of an edgier personality compared to Terry's nonchalant one. However, he's not completely different to Terry. He takes on a lot of the philosophies of Terry, with fighting being almost like a form of communication. He's very compassionate like Terry too. Rock is by far my favorite character in this entire franchise, and he's a big reason as to why I wanted to start this journey in the first place. His design, personality, and gameplay all just really spoke to me. Anyways, with that being said, Rock receives a mysterious invite one day, inviting him to the new King of Fighters tournament, and mentioning something about his mother. Then, Terry returns. Being our main poster boy, he's now just entering the King of Fighters to try and figure out exactly what's going on, as well as keeping an eye out for Rock. After that, we have the two sons of Kim Kwan, Dong and Jae. The two boys were both diligently raised by their father Kim, and are both very skilled in Taekwondo because of it. However, Dong doesn't take his training seriously at all, and he tends to goof off a lot. Whereas Jae has inherited his father's strong sense of justice and takes training extremely seriously. They both want to carry on their father's legacy and thus enter the King of Fighters. Dong is unique in his playstyle. He's very aerial focused alongside having electrical powers. He's really fluid and fun to play, whereas Jae is very similar to Kim's original playstyle and uses fire in his moveset. Moving on, we next have B. Jenny, leader of the pirate crew known as the Lillian Knights. Jenny is the daughter of a wealthy British family who found the rich lifestyle to be boring and tedious, so in an act of rebellion she ran away from home and joined a band of pirates. She's a very charismatic character, someone who's in it for the thrill. However, she's not really good or evil, she's more so just after treasure, and that's her reason for joining the King of Fighters tournament. Next up is Hotaru Futaba, a young girl who's in search of her brother. She's a very cheerful character, and her kindness seems to rub off on a lot of characters. She joins the King of Fighters in hopes of reuniting with her brother who left from home. Speaking of her brother, while it's not entirely confirmed, it is heavily hinted that her brother is Gato, our next fighter. Gato is a martial artist who grew up to become cold and heartless. His father murdered his mother, leaving him to suppress all emotions. He always looks down on others, and enters the new King of Fighters tournament in order to prove his training. He's a perfectly tragic character, one who was dealt a harsh hand in life and has become bitter and almost evil because of it. He's a very interesting character and feels very unique for the Fatal Fury series, kinda reminding me of the Jin brothers. On a more lighter note, we have Tizok, or Griffin Mask in Japanese, a famous wrestler who has captured the hearts of adults and children alike. He loves to be the hero, and so he never takes off his mask, always playing into the character at all times. After that, we have Margot Rodriguez, also known as Butt. He's the disciple of Ryo Sakazaki, the protagonist of the Art of Fighting series. Marco is a Brazilian fighter who is stoic and serious, while also being a little bit reckless and aloof. He looks up to Ryo, who taught him everything he knows, and he is now trying to carry on his teachings in the newest tournament. Hokutomaru is up next, being the youngest fighter in the series so far. Hokutomaru is the disciple of Andy Bogard, and he trains in the Shiranui arts, using some of the moves from Andy and Mai's movesets. He's a very goofy character, being raised mostly around nature before being found by Andy and Mai. He definitely feels like a bit of an homage to characters like Sun Wukong and Goku from early Dragon Ball. Next up, we have Kevin Ryan, a SWAT member for 2nd Southtown's police squad. Kevin and his friend were investigating a string of murders from a mysterious fighter before his partner is later found as another victim, found dead in a dark alley. He leaves one final clue for Kevin, telling him the killer is a long-haired man. Stricken by grief and determined to avenge his friend, Kevin takes care of his partner's son Marky. Once the new King of Fighters is announced, Kevin thinks it's a good opportunity to lure the killer out. Kevin can be a very cold person, but whenever Marky's around, he can't help but soften up a little, and I really love his character. The small story of him trying to avenge his friend from the killer is super compelling to me. And for our final character, we have Freeman, a crazed maniac with long hair. Yep, that's right. Freeman is the killer that Kevin is looking for. Hailing from the UK, Freeman is a killer who loves killing strong opponents. He travels to the 2nd Southtown after learning about the new King of Fighters tournament. He's a madman who's only interested in killing, and other than that, we don't know anything else about him. So, with this out of the way, let's get to the main plot of the game. Rock joins the King of Fighters tournament, finding his way through and meeting all sorts of colorful characters. In between some of these fights, we get this vision of a mysterious figure that's hiding in a dark place watching over us. Eventually, we make it to the semi-finals where we fight against Terry. We actually get dialogue before the match of Terry and Rock promising to go all out, with Terry calling him a young wolf cub. It's kinda nuts how just having dialogue before a fight blew my mind. Stuff like this is commonplace nowadays, but seeing it here genuinely shocked me. Anyways, we fight Terry in this absolutely gorgeous stage, which gives me time to gush about it. This game's art is so good! I genuinely think that this stage alone is my favorite stage in all of fighting games. I love how it incorporates both Terry's stages, with us riding a train alongside the sea. It makes this fight even cooler, as this officially works as a passing of the torch, with Rock finally becoming a wolf. Once we beat Terry, we get another little piece of dialogue where Terry tells Rock to be careful before we finally confront the mysterious man that's been showing up between rounds. The figure talks about how the weak usually bark the loudest, or in his case, they usually end up soiling themselves before being defeated by him. Rock jokes that he hopes that he's not going to do the same when he beats him, as we finally get to see the figure in full. This is Grant, a man who is calm, unmovable. His fight is intense, but manageable. His design is also insanely cool, reminding me both of Geese with his pants and karate-inspired look, and a little bit of Krauser with his massive body and the mask being a little bit of an homage to his armor. Anyways, Grant is defeated, and he questions if Rock defeated him using Geese's evil power. Rock demands to know about the letter talking about his mother, but Grant just tells him that he needs to talk to Kane before he collapses. We then hear a mysterious voice talking about how surprised they are that Grant was defeated. And this is Kane, our newest big bad in this game. Kane is the one who sent the letter, took over all of Southtown, and is hosting the new King of Fighters tournament. He reveals to Rock that he's planning to carry out Geese's legacy, and Rock is stunned as he sees him standing in front of a mural of his mother. This is when he drops the bombshell that Kane is actually the brother of Rock's mother, effectively making him Rock's uncle. He tells Rock that he should join him, and together the two can carry on Geese's legacy. Rock declines, and the fight begins. This fight is super interesting. At first, it's nothing special, but once you beat Kane, he gets TOP power for the entirety of the fight, and it makes for an intense battle. But after defeating him, we get our final cutscene.
Well, answer me! Why use my mother to summon me here? Are you really her?
I did it all for the legacy of Geese Howard.
Geese Howard? Legacy?
After his death, his will was found, but its true message was indecipherable to all.
You think I understand you? Too bad. It's all Greek to me. Try someone else, freak.
Even if I know that your mother's alive?
Rock, where are you?
Welcome, Terry Bogard.
Why you? Where's Rock?
Rock. Well, he's right here, of course. He's with me now. Blondie. We're a team now. So back off, hungry wolf.
What's going on, Rock?
Don't try to talk me out of this. When my accounts are settled, I'll return to this town.
So be it. It's your choice. Just know, I believe in you.
Forgive me, Terry.
What do we do now, partner?
We end things off on a cliffhanger, with Rock joining Kane, leaving Terry behind. In the promotional video series made for the 15th anniversary, we see that after this, Terry goes outside to meet up with Blue Mary. She asks him why he looks so down, to which he reassures her, telling her that he's not the kind of guy to stay sad for long, as he hops on the back of her bike as the two drive off together. And that's the ending of the Fatal Fury series. Yep, it ends on a cliffhanger. There were plans for a sequel to Garou, with concept art even been thrown around. However, due to SNK going bankrupt soon after, the series would remain on an indefinite hiatus for over 25 years, leaving us with just this cliffhanger. Well, that is, until this.
借りるぜテリー
Garou this City of the Ruin.
That's right. After such a long time, the Wolves are finally back in Fatal Fury's City of the Wolves. The game is planned to release in April of 2025, and you know for a fact I'll be there day one playing it. Garou is by far my favorite entry in the series so far. It has an amazing cast, fantastic music, jaw-dropping visuals, and extremely fun and fast-paced gameplay. It takes everything I've loved from the series so far and puts it all into one game. I do feel like it's missing some old characters, since even giving it the name Garou makes it feel quite isolated from the rest of the series. But either way, I definitely recommend that you play this game if you haven't already. You can get it for under $10 on any platform, with PC releases even having rollback netcode built into it. But for now, this is it. The end of my Fatal Fury journey for now. At least when it comes to canonical entries. I do still plan on making content on this series. I actually have already played some of the interesting spin-offs in the series. And I also think stuff like watching the anime could be really fun. So don't fret, there's still plenty of Fatal Fury and other fighting game content to come. But as we close on this episode, I just want to say thank you to everyone for following me on this journey. I've grown so much in the past few months thanks to this series, seeing my friends get really into it, as well as meeting brand new people in the comments who have really helped continue to inspire me. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And with that, I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day.